Okay. The classes are live streamed now. So I'll briefly introduce Mr. Uh, Rex. Mr. Rex is a assistant professor of social work at the School of Social Work. Classes are live streamed now. So I'll briefly introduce Mr. Rex. Mr. Rex is a assistant professor of social work. Okay, there are some echo, but now I stopped it. So he's assistant professor at the School of Social Work, Kamara Guru College of Liberal Arts and Science, Tamil Nadu, and also he is ICSR fellow at the same department. His research interests are evaluative research and community development project. So today we'll be teaching you course number. What is that course will be teaching?
MDI 2. MDI 2.
2. So we'll have a series of classes till the all the units, and we have Mr. Rex. So over to you. You take whatever time and make it more participatory. So you can share your PPT also. I made you co-host.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure. Is it shared, sir, now?
Yes, you can share.
It is shared now?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Can I start the class, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Very good morning to all the learners here. I am going to teach on the block 1 of your study on migration and diaspora. The block 1 of MDI 2 talks about the transnationalism and diaspora and citizenship. When you look into this criteria, the unit 11 is the learning objectives of this particular unit is to understand the meaning of diaspora. So what is diaspora, why we have to learn it, and what is the benefit of the diaspora community to India. So the learning objective of this is the first follows what is diaspora that we have to understand. And the second one, the associated links between the globalization and diaspora. How far globalization, privatization have linked towards the forming the diaspora community. And the third learning objective of this particular unit is the history of Indian diaspora. So dear learners, keep these objectives in mind. We are going to learn these aspects in the unit 11. The first one is what is migration? Because migration is the one which forms the diaspora community. So we know very well that migration takes place. Only it is also within the state. Even within Bihar, if one relocate himself or herself, it is a migration. So we understand very well that the IAM, International Organization of Migration, stated there are 1 billion migrants worldwide at present, right? And the migration refers to the refugees, internally displaced people, uprooted residents, and economic migrants. When you say refugees, we get people from Sri Lanka, Nepal, some other countries where they come as refugees to India, or we people go to some or any natural disaster may force the people of a particular nation to go to some other countries as an asylum to get as a refugees. So in that case, the refugees are considered as the migrant and internally displaced. You, as I have told, in the beginning, internally we get displaced when the disaster takes place, or in the particular state, if the political situation or the working condition is not better, we move to some other states within the country. So that is also considered as migration. And uprooted residents. So they are uprooted because of their vulnerability, or they are considered as slaves there. Okay, then they go to some other countries to get better life. And economic migrants, which we see in huge in countries, in developing countries or underdeveloped countries, where they move people to some other countries where they get better job, where they can get a better life and a good living being, because they have settled it economically. So these are the major migration that takes place all over the world. And when you say migration, we really need to understand it's an act of crossing an international border or relocating within the state, and it takes in any form the people get migrated. And we also understand now the diasporic communities. What is diasporic communities? So when people migrate from one place to another and live for a longer period of time at their new place, often called the host country. So I am a person, I'm going to Australia for my job and live for a longer period of time. And they consider Australia is considered as my host country because they are hosted me and they gave me a job and they gave me the freedom to live there. So they consider as a host country, and this and if that will be the place of my settlement, and they tend to form a diasporic communities. For example, there are people from India over there, then we form a diasporic communities. People of same ethnic groups, same language, same citizenship. So we form a group over there. So this called as a diasporic communities. When there is a transmission from the migration to diasporic communities. So migrant, I migrate from one place to another. I am a migrant. So I form a community there. Okay, where uh, all those people in the community belong to a same ethnic group or the same country or same language or something unique among them. So they tend to form a diasporic communities. But where this diasporic communities first, uh, the term has emerged. You see the background of it is it's 1580, 586 BC, where the exodus of Jews from their homeland. Okay, when they move from their homeland and due to some uh, expulsion of the Roman emperor, then they moved from the particular place to another. Okay, so then they have the same linguistic and culture. Then in that country they form a community. Then they termed as a diasporic. When you say in Greek term, diaspora means dispersion or scattering. So it is a literal meaning is that they are all scattered. Okay, and they have their different lifestyles in the different countries, not in their original country. Okay. So historical meaning diaspora, as I have said, they are expelled from the homeland by Roman officials. So there is significant factors in this we have to see. When you see the diaspora's community, there are three significant factors. One is the birthplace or the same. They are from the same country or they are born in the same geographical location, that we have to take it into consideration. So the people from different countries cannot form a diasporic community. Then the second one is a host land. Okay, so the host land is allowing them to form a diasporic community and they are in their host land. So one in US, one in Australia, one in Gulf countries cannot form a diasporic community. Okay, the host land should be the same for a diasporic community. And the third one is the individuals. When you say I am belong to a diasporic community, the individuals take interest into be part of that particular diasporic community. If the individual is not willing, we cannot consider him or her in the diasporic community. So when you say that, the three significant factors plays a vital role when the diasporic community is formed. And as we have historically, when we go back, Jews formed the ethnic population owing to their background and culture. Okay, when they were expelled from there is various characteristics of forms of uh, diaspora. One is the expelling. So the expel is something through force. When they expel from the force of the Roman officials, they move to some other part of the world and they start forming because they want to live, because they lived together. Now they are scattered, dispersed, and they want to live again together in a different land. So they have come together and formed their background and culture, and they start living in their another land. So we understand the concepts of the diaspora because they lost their land, they lost their birthplace, but they are from the same culture and ethnic groups. So they went to some other place, formed the group, and they are considered as a diasporic community. When the dispersal from one place to another has a various dimension and types, as I have said. So we cannot disperse always from expulsion, or we cannot place to another by force. We can also expel from one place to another by interest also. Okay. So there are various reasons why one person or one group of people will move from one place to another. So let us see what are those various types. So Kim Butler, one of the leading sociologists, has given the 5 distinct forms of dispersal. Okay, why or how a person move one place to another, or how one will be treated in a particular place. Why? What makes them to move? The first one is captivity. First type, she comes with captivity. It's an enslavement, okay, or involuntary dislocation. Okay, you see, people consider certain type of people as slave. Okay, in US you see black or consider or as a slave. In some countries, people from has come as refugees are not given citizenship, as well as they are considered as a slave. Even they buy people. This is a history where this makes the person to migrate or involuntarily dislocate from that place to another. Probably this dislocation may take place within the state, or this location takes place one state may take place one country to another. So captivity means it is by force and involuntary dislocation. Next one is exile, the erosion of a whole state or country during colonialism and conquest. So this India is an example for this. When the British rule has come, they have colonized our country for trade or looting our resources and everything. When that takes place, it's in India itself, our people are migrating from one place to another. They dispersed or they forced to do it. During colonialism, the British government has sent our people to some other countries, like some African countries, as coolies, as workers, and forced us to be part of the British Army. And they asked us to go to their country and do involve in be part of their army. Okay, where is an exile? There, it's an eraser of a whole state or country. And forced or voluntary exile, where is expelled from home and by homeland. So this is sometimes voluntarily it will happen, and sometimes it's by force. And emigration, where is an little bit uh, a form of kind of institutionalized migration. So I emigrate. So immigration takes people from other countries in a very in a recorded manner. Okay, they have passport and what qualification they have, for what purpose they come into my country. Everything is verified and taken into consideration. It's highly institutionalized. And imperial is originated mode of conquest. So people come, they take a war on that country, and they conquest the country and take the control of that country. Mughal emperor, some other forms where we can have a lot of historical evidences in India, where imperial, right? So these are the five distinct forms of a dispersal that is happening, that is characterized by Tim Butler. Okay, so whether it's captivity or exile or the first two are through the some force it is happening. It is not the interest of the people. The migration takes place by the force, whereas voluntary exile and immigration, it is purely a people interest and highly a bit of institutionalized. There is a record. And when you say imperial, it is it's through conquest, through war, through power. The people from other state and come and conquest the particular state or country or a region, and they start uh, dislocating the people. So it's according to Butler definition or characterization or bringing the types of this. Here she clearly brings out how this migration takes place, and he's giving the very solid reason why the form how the diaspora communities is formed historically. So, as a basic fundamental of this course, let us we as a learners should understand how this dispersal takes place. Historically, we must study how it is all about. And definition of diaspora. When you say the definition of diaspora, Kim Butler, again a famous scholar, a sociologist, says that the framework for the study of a specific process of community formation. So it is to study the specific process, how the community is formed. To form a community is not that easy, but because they should willing to be part of that community. And you say village community for an example. If you take a village community, what how the community is formed? It is formed because of their culture. It is because from their value system. They have a geographical boundary. They have same or similar types of work, probably agriculture or animal husbandry, and they have a faith system or same in terms of worship, in terms of marriage system, in terms of practices in the community. In the same way, diaspora community, it is also community formation. There is a specific process of community formation. So when we study the diaspora community, we should study how the framework is there in the forms of community formation. And another author, Hall, says that it's a conception of identity which does not fade even after hybridity. It is an identity. So people in US, people in Australia, people in Singapore, Malaysia, it is for them, it's a conception of identity. Even though they work there, they say that we belong to India, we belong to Kerala, we belong to Bihar, we belong to West Bengal. So whatsoever they form. They form is a conception of identity which does not fade even after hybridity. It is constantly producing and reproducing through transformation and differences. So it is changing and evolving. Okay, the diaspora terms are evolving because it is newly concept and transnationalism and everything is political and economic and social constraints are high when you say the diaspora community. Okay, what is the characteristics that define diaspora? We have seen the definition, we have seen the types. What are the characteristics? So diaspora of two or more locations related to an original territory. So when you say diaspora, the two or more locations where people come from and to an original territory. And the second one is the collective mythology of homelands shared by the group and transmitted through generation to come. They believe that they cannot be accepted fully by the host society. The very important area. Sometimes they cannot be given citizenship and they will be on contract. They cannot have the citizens of that particular country like some kind of educational benefit, some kind of financial benefit of that host country cannot will not provide them. So they keep them as on contract. They keep them as on second citizens. So they cannot be accepted fully. They believe that they cannot be accepted fully. That is another characteristics of diaspora. And the idealization of return to the homeland will be there. So they feel one day or the other they come to the homeland. And they feel that they should be collectively committed to the maintenance or restoration of their original homeland and its safety and prosperity. So people, even though live in other countries, they feel that we are committed to the maintenance and restoration of the original homeland. So I must give back to my country. I must see my country safe and prosperous and growing and well. They are doing well. And what is my contribution? Even though I live in Australia, even though I live in US, what are my contribution towards my country's prosperity, development? So these all citizen characteristics and ongoing relationship with homeland. When you say homeland, it's with family, with the society, and they live with the community and all those things. So when you see one by one of these characteristics, they are from the original territory, probably some parts of that particular country. We take example of India, which is a huge space. So we come from various parts and we are uh, locating in various places, but we form a diaspora community there. So the collective mythology of homeland and shared by the group of transmitted through generation to come. And they believe that they cannot be accepted fully by the host society. The idealization of return to the homeland are the fundamental characteristics of the diaspora. And also they feel that I must contribute to my home nation and have ongoing relationship with the country. And another learning objective. First learning objective is what is diaspora? We have seen so far. So the next learning objective is what is the connection between globalization and diaspora? So globalization is transformation, transition, and over the century efforts. When you say globalization, we have now technology, lot of improvement in media, social media, as everything has emerged. So globalization makes the world into uh, a village. Okay, we have a global village system. So if I can with the technology and everything within a second I can connect someone in US, I can connect someone with other countries. So globalization is the reason it has uh, it's a main reason to form a diaspora community and help to form a diaspora community. Same. And connectivity between a massive advancement in media, technology, and transportation and capital movement. There is a capital movement. People can invest other countries. People can invest labor. They can invest whatever they want if they are skillful and educated, or even unskilled workers can move. So hence workers migrate to various regions. The globalization has impact to make the people to move to various regions, as well as the improvement in the technology and media. A peer person need not to rely on the secondary sources to understand what is happening in some other countries, whether my job is required, my skill is matched with them. So in the mobile, and they with that they can just see what are the skills I have, and I have to move to that particular country, what I have to do for it. So globalization has helped. And uh, Apathy, the famous sociologist, and has given multi-dimensional interconnection for globalization. And Apathy is five scapes of globalization. When you say five scapes, is scape is an interlinked. So the scapes theory proposes the globalization driven by the interconnectedness and flow of five distinct scapes. The scapes influence and shape one another as a culture intersect and overlap globally. So this helps us to move ahead, and the theory highlights the multi-directional nature and of cultural flows and challenges the notion of cultural homogenization. So people, the scapes is gives ethnoscapes, movement of people across the world, ethnoscapes, and technoscapes, cross-border impact of technology. How the cross-border impact, how the impact has been created in terms of trade, in terms of people movement, in terms of connectedness and everything. And finance-scapes, a rapid movement of money globally. So how easily the people invest money in other countries, in trade, in business, in education, and everything. And mediascapes, international media's global influence. So how news has been published in US is impacting on my life, maybe the sensex of the country. Okay. How far this impact is being there. And ideoscapes, the spread of ideas, symbols, and narratives. So we know that the narratives of any country is impacting the economical situation of any part of the world, because we are all globalized, and privatization and globalization took place. When it took place, there is a economy has a shift in the economy. So these five scapes is clearly says that the scape meaning it's an interlink, and the changing pattern, and each escapes people knowingly or unknowingly part and parcel of that, or the scapes are impacting the the globalization driven and the interconnectedness. Okay, so it has improved the interconnectedness between the countries, between the government, between the economical transaction, and between the employment force. Okay, through trade and business and everything. So this case is clear, is a globalization driven. Because of the globalization, these five scapes has emerged, and because of that, there is an improvement in the interconnectedness, and the multi-directional nature of cultural flows and challenges of the notion has emerged due to this uh, uh, this globalization, and multi-dimensional interactions as took place. Okay. So we cannot interconnection cannot take place in one. It's a multi-dimensional. Means that is five scapes are important while we understanding how the globalizations impact on diaspora. So tracing Indian diaspora across the world, how it is Indian diaspora has taken place. Okay. We have seen that we are colonized, and we know very well British colonialism has been for 100 years and more. And Indian diaspora constitute an important and unique force in the world culture starting from the British colonialism. So modern Indian diaspora lies in British colonialism and integration into British Empire. So they only started and by force expelling our people of India to join, to go some other countries, to work as coolies, to work as tea estates, to work in the mining, to work in the army force as slaves or as second grade citizens or uh, regarded less. In 19th century, India were taken to Fiji, Trinidad, Suriname, Malaysia, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, and South Africa. And post World War II, the Indians were taken to forced to US, Canada, UK, and Netherlands. Recent times, major migration to the Middle East. So this is the history. But when you see the various timeline, it is in the 19th century. It is unskilled workers are taken by force to work in those countries. And you see post World War II, after that, excuse post World War II, there is a slight difference because people a bit of skilled are moving towards US Canada. In the recent times, there's a migration to Middle East and US and Canada. It's full of skilled and professional workers. So when you see diaspora across the world, Indian diaspora across the world, it is starting by force to housing and the global economy. So historical trajectory of Indian diaspora, when you see, the first phase took place 1834. So they were recruited as police. So young and male are taken and worked in plantation. So as I have said, mining, tea estate or something like that in 1834. Even internal migration took place. And when you say 19th century, the second phase, the Gangani system of recruitment, that is four-man on overseer. So southern Indian labor supplied to Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Then you see the southern Indian labor means the people from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Pondicherry, these areas. Taken to Malaysia because we are near to Sri Lanka and Malaysia. Because there is a through sea, traveling through sea, we can. It is within 3 to 4 days we can be reaching Sri Lanka or Malaysia. Even Sri Lanka is very near. So people, the British took this southern part of the nation uh, to Malaysia and Sri Lanka, and this Gangani system of recruitment, there is a middleman. There's a foreman on overseer. The middleman plays a vital role, and the mainstream system supply labor to Burma where there is no middleman concept. There will be a person linking there to Burma. There will be one person already who was there, and he will take the persons from there. So there is no middleman concept. It's a relationship or something where is Gangani system of recruitment where there is an overseer. And the third phase is the British Empire. Free migration of trading. Gujaratis and Punjabis migrated to South Africa and East Africa. Okay, so free migration for trading. So there is freely they are sending our people for trading, and where this not part of the of our country are moving towards South Africa and East Africa. And fourth phase we have late 60s. So voluntary and consist of highly educated professionals and skilled labor moving towards North America and Europe. So this take place in 1960s or some that area. And last 15 years, majority of them are contract workers and not allowed to settle in host countries. That is a setback. And the migration to West Asia. So people are moving to West Asia, like countries near to in Asian countries, to start their job. Okay, so contract laborers, contract workers, skillful contract workers, because they are not allowed to settle in the host countries. But the big companies will recruit them, or small companies recruit them, keep them on contract of 2 years and renew their contract, and again they go. And these are the historical trajectory or historical phase uh, of various phases where how this migration took place in India. So Indians abroad. So according to the Ministry of External Affairs in 2011 census, 32 million people of Indian origin living in overseas in 210 countries, almost. And 48 countries have more than 10,000 Indians. So shockingly. And more than half a million live in 11 countries. And 0.5 million, this is very shocking, Indians were reported as a stateless population. Means they stay in the host country without valid documents. So it's almost 50,000 people are living in other countries without valid documents and situation. So this is the countries where the estimated population above 1 lakh in 2001 Ministry of External Affairs thing. So people of Indian origin, Indian citizens, and stateless total. If you see some countries, they are very uh, that immigration part they are very particular, so that there is no stateless uh, condition of our people in that country. For example, Australia, uh, Bahrain, you see, there is no stateless. But if you see Canada, so that there are issues there. There are stateless people, means that there is no without valid document, they are there in Canada. Kenya, Malaysia, Myanmar, Netherlands. There's a quite number, shocking number of people there in other countries without valid document. But anyhow, there are people uh, lakhs and above in those countries. So this is statistics. You see here Australia as having people of Indian origin and Indian citizens 30,000 and a total 1 lakh 90,000 there. And Canada is having huge number, and Malaysia almost 16 lakhs, and we have Myanmar also because it's our neighboring state, and we have Saudi Arabia. Okay, so these are the diaspora communities across the nation. Okay. So contemporary situation, India has looked down upon migration living in various countries. It's the beginning when India looked uh, because it is we say loss of religious values and social values. Some religions were like in culture we regret people going to somewhere other countries. Sometimes we feel that it is polluted or something like that. So people look down the migration living in various countries related to due to social values and everything. And 1970s, in the after 30 years of our independence, 30 or 20, 25 years of our independence, India suffered a shortage of foreign exchange. We are not able to uh, economically grow as per with foreign countries. So our Indian economy has slowed down, and due to that, due to that, we looked the uh, getting job or migrating other countries as a positive sign. So during that 1970s, we witnessed that those who settled in West were prosperous, and they not only helped with remittance but also with technology, science, and management other skills. So that time we were highly supported by the people, those who are living in other countries as diaspora community. At the same time, not only with money but also with the technology, science, management, they started a business here. The status of non-residents Indian were given. NRI, we might have heard about. So NRI concept has come in, and we that lead to the emergence of World Trade Organization. Like I said, NRI, persons of Indian origins concept, general agreement on trade in services, led more investment. So due to this, so World Trade Organization has pulled the economy from other people living in other countries together and started all those things. And the contemporary situation has, from looking down to the emergence of some setups, some organization, it has evolved. You see, in late in 1950s or somewhere, it was looked down, but in 1980s, 1990s, the same country has emerged and evolved with various organizations, and they even amended the Citizenship Act. So they brought the concept of NRI, persons of Indian origin, and everything. So this what about the first unit 11, as we have said, we learn about diaspora community, we learn about the what is globalization and contemporary situation of the diaspora community. Now let us move to the transnationalism and transnational citizenship. Very important topic, where learning objectives of become familiar with theories and types of transnationalism, understand about citizenship and its types, know more about schemes for overseas citizenship of India. Okay. So what is transnationalism? Trans Transnational, okay, means that you have the citizenship of countries, okay, transnational, and your homeland and host land, you live in various countries. That's what the concept of transnational citizenship. And transnational citizenship differ country to country and is evolving concept. So we keep that in mind, that transnational citizenships are not same in all the countries because the constitution differs, the laws of the countries are different, and they look upon uh, the people is different. So we may have the different kind of approach by the Western countries, different kind of approach in Eastern countries. In Gulf countries, we have different approach in looking into transnational citizenship. Okay, so it is how far the country has evolved, right? But transnational is a simple term. It is to give multiple nationalities to the immigrants and the migrant community to their homeland and their hosting countries. So transnationalism concept came into existence in 1920s, fully formed after the World War One. So they have started after the World War, and it is defined by Levitt and Nyberg is that transnationalism broadly refers to multiple ties and interaction linking people or institution across the border of the nation state. So how far they are interaction linking people or institution across the border. But there is a through transnationalism concept, the country or the nation is accepting that, and growth of transnationalism closely linked with the globalization. and web of social networks and political processes. So it's closely related. When we see diaspora, we understood about how the globalization and social networks and everything has played a role in forming the diaspora community. So the very important statistics we see in the second of the last, the United Nations Population Division report says that 3.2 of the total population lives in the outside of their origin state. Okay, so in the world, 3.2 for 100 persons, almost 3 persons are out of their origin state. So what is that transnationalism according to Schiller? It's a process by which immigrants immigrants build social fields that link together their country of origin and the country of settlement. So how they are building the social fields? When you say social fields, uh, connectedness, social fields, linking with the house, the home country. Okay, so the social fields is means that bringing the all kind of social connectedness, family ties, and societal ties, religious ties together in their origin country as well as their country of settlement. How they are bringing and merging these two. And theories of, when I say theories of transnationalism, first one is given by Nye and Cohen in 1971. Transnationalism affects diverse areas of international governance, including interstate politics, foreign policies, social values, cultural constructs, national and international securities related to it, and international organizations. So, transnationalism affects the diverse areas of international governance. And in Appadurai, he has accepted what Nye and Cohen says in their theory, but he adds more on it, operates through modern technology and cyberspace. So that is also a valid point because technology and cyberspace plays a vital role in bringing the transnational connective. Today we are connected. I am connected to learners because of this technology and cyberspace. If not, I cannot connect with learners across India. Okay. So in the same way, the connectedness, the transnationalism connective operates through the cyberspace and technology. And Henners and Algin Portis in various, they have through their study they said that transnational is a forms of life and the better integrated educationally, professionally, an immigrant is a more likely he or she is engaged in transnational activities. So they say that, especially Algindro quotes in their study says that the better integrated, if they are educationally, professionally, and the immigrant is more likely to engage in transnational activities. So the doctors, the physician, if they live in other countries, they be more involved in transnational activities. Those other people of unskilled workers, probably those who are in infrastructure development or those who are in kind of building contract or somewhere else, somewhere who are unskilled. So these people may have less transnational activities than the uh, those who are professionally, educationally involving in transnational, involving professional workers. Because transnational is how far they are connecting the home country and the host country together. Okay, so that's what's their contribution. Theories of transnationalism bring from the social policies and the cultural constructs to how it is evolved through the uh, uh, technology, integrate. So, what is the types of transnationalism? There are three phenomena. When it's political phenomenon, social phenomenon, and economic phenomenon. When you say political phenomenon, it is full of political in nature. They have political aspects of seeing the transnationalism, citizenship, act, law, everything. When you say social phenomenon, how far they are socially connected? Family, marriage, okay, class and caste system. How the social phenomenon takes place in types of transnationalism. When you say economic phenomenon, how far it impacts the economy of the home country and host country. So these are three types of transnationalism or looking into transnationalism into different aspects. So when a sociologist look into this phenomenon, they look such a way that how they are connected to their family, how they are connected to their uh, cultural system, how they are connected towards their family functioning and everything. But when the political or when you see the economic phenomenon, they see how it is has contributed to uh, the economy of the host country, economy of the home country, how much they have contributed to startups in India, how they through their diaspora communities, how they have contributed to the much contributed to the social cost and everything. So the types of transnationalism looked into the various perspectives. It is who is looking that area is very important. If I look into the lens of social perspective, I look it in a different. If it is political perspective, it will be different. Economic perspective will be different. So these are the main three types or angles how we look transnationalism. So next area, citizenship. So it is a status of a person recognized under the law of a country as belonging to it. So when you say citizenship, it's the status of a person recognized under the law of a country as belonging. How my country is seeing the diaspora community. Okay, and in international law, it is a membership to a sovereign state. When you say when you look into the international law, it is a membership to a sovereign state. We require citizenship by accident of birth. It is both right and obligation. So in India, I am having Indian citizenship. It is because of my birth, and it is my right to. So when we see this too, it is both the right and obligation. And we look into the types of citizenship. It has five types. It has five types. When you say just sanguinis, it is a right of blood. It's a Greek term. It's a right of blood. Become citizens by blood, parentage, and heritage. We Indians follow it. Okay. Any countries is right of blood. It is just sanguinis. Just solely. It's a right of soil. Citizenship determined by the place of birth. Okay. So I was born in US, for my parents are Indians, I have citizenship of Indian citizenship. Okay. But there are countries where if you take the birthplace matter, they automatically give the citizenships. And next one is just matrimony. We have seen in many movies where just they marry a person in a particular country in order to get a citizenship. So the person acquires citizenship by marriage. And naturalization, it is a citizenship because you live or marry or live in a particular country for a certain period of time. If you live for 10 years or 15 years, you get the citizenship. And the excluded categories, there are some countries where, especially Gulf countries, uh, the policy for migrant workers, they won't give citizenship, and excluded groups like slaves groups are are considered as an excluded categories. They will not be given citizenship. And you have transnational citizenship. When you say so, even you understand India may have just languages solely or naturalization. Okay, so any country can follow two or three or only one or something like that, and they may have excluded categories too. And Transnational citizenship. Defining transnational citizenship is a multiple identities and allegiances. So people have transnational citizenship means that they have dual citizenship, cross-national, multi-layered membership to a certain societies. So it is having multiple citizenship and multiple identities and by getting the citizenship from the various countries. So overseas citizenship of Indian scheme. So it is by amending the Citizenship Act 1955, the overseas of 2005, where people given the NRI, okay, and given certain provisions, okay, and they can have a dual citizenship and prohibiting some like voting and contesting in election is prohibited. But moreover, they are given certain rights when they are having a dual citizenship. The overseas citizenship of India was introduced in 2005. It is an evolving of looking into the migration or getting jobs some other countries as a kind of low grade to into in 1990s we have evolved even amending the law for the benefit of the people of diaspora. So for this we learned the meaning of diaspora and associated links between the globalization. uh, we knew about the history of Indian in overall of this session. We know about the history of Indian diaspora and become unfamiliar with the theories and types of transnationalism. We learned about citizenship and its types, and we learned more about the schemes of overseas citizens of India. So, dear learners, we must understand very the fundamental of what is the diaspora. That is very, very important, and their link between globalization. And I hope we knew about the history of Indian diaspora starting from 1830s to till now, between the decades, and theories and types of transnationalism, how it is moves, and the citizenship and its types. What are the different types of citizenship? Types of citizenship, how the citizenship is given, and we also know more about the scheme for overseas citizenship of India. So we proceed further, we move further with another areas of the transnationalism as well as how we go in deep of Indian diaspora and contribution of Indian diaspora to the homeland and uh, the hosting land in upcoming classes. Thank you very much.
Dr. Rex, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is over now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, and it's very informative, and lots of issues are there you have discussed. So I think if there are any questions from students, we can entertain.
Do I need to improve anything? Because I finished it in 1 hour. Because it
Ah,
is otherwise it will take long time. 2 hours. It's something.
no problem. Let
Uh,
the student, if there are any queries from student side, you can ask. So otherwise, we'll take some break and we'll get back to you in the next, what is the next class time? I think 12,
12.
12 o'clock. So we'll take some break. Okay?